It's great to see good friends here online, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We're trying to keep our educational Mondays on under this lockdown situation. I really hope we can go back to normal in a couple of weeks' time. I'm a clear example of a guy who's being stuck at home for almost 2 months now. I hope you like my new look. And I'm very excited to host this webinar with my good new friend, Carlos. It's fantastic to have you here, man. Thank you so much for giving some of your time. And I would like to start introducing, well, an effort that we've been doing for many years now. We've been trying to promote the Pacific Coast for many, many years. And we've been very lucky in the last couple of years with people like Rodrigo at Las Tanusas, our dear friend Niels at La Danesa, and our friends from Hotel del Parque. We finally see that the Pacific Coast is developing very nice infrastructure for us to be able to promote to the international market that we cater for. And I'm always excited about new stuff, new products, meaningful things made with love, as well as with a lot of passion that Carlos clearly has. And of course, disruption. I think that's the word that Carlos used for his development. And I love that concept. And I also am a big fan of entrepreneurs. You know, I love entrepreneurs. And I also love Highlands people like Carlos, you know, Serrano, who went to live down the coast. And who's been sailing the Pacific Coast for the last 20 years. I think that's super exciting, Carlos. I always joke that I'm one of the few surfers that live in the Highlands, and I suck at it. I really suck at it. So I think that the only way to become a proper costeño is to live in the coast, even though I know you have your Quiteño heart. It's wonderful to have you as a representative of the Pacific Coast now after 20 years living down there. And I think finally, you know, it's just celebrating creative ways to explore amazing off the beaten path destinations like the beautiful beaches we have down the coast. To me, the Pacific Coast was kind of a forbidding area to travel for business, because I always like to go and went surfing and have my coconut dishes that I love in the north of the coast, that you probably will make the most of it on your expeditions. But now it seems like the Pacific Coast is coming to my business scene, and I will be more than excited to share in the future with our clients places that I've been traveling with now, who is my wife. Back in the day, she was my girlfriend, and we went exploring all of these secret beaches and surf spots that now, you know, are still there and still very pristine. It's amazing how pristine the Pacific Coast of Ecuador is. So Carlos, I'm gonna give it to you. I look forward to listen to your presentation, and towards the end we're going to make a couple of questions. Guys, some housekeeping. If you want to drop some questions on the chatter here, we'll be more than happy to start answering with Diego and myself, and then of course we can follow up afterwards. We're going to be talking a lot about Carlos and Kontiki for the next couple of years, I'm sure, so there will be a lot of space and time to talk about it. So Carlos, the floor is yours, my friend.
Thank you so much, Jassy and Diego, for the invitation to talk about Kontiki this afternoon, this morning here in Ecuador. And as you mentioned, Jassy, well, Ecuador is amazing. We have the fortune to have like these four, let's say, worlds itself, you know, in one country. And of course, the coast of Ecuador is one of the worlds. And yeah, I mean, you can see a lot of amazing things that I will show you in a little bit in the presentation that I already have it for you guys. And let me share the content, a presentation that I have for you in this case. And of course, you will see a little bit of what it's of what Kontiki is, okay? So basically, what is Kontiki? Well, Kontiki is a new way to explore and discover unique and unexplored places in the coastal of Ecuador. Our expeditions provide an authentic immersion in the local culture, tradition, and gastronomy without giving up comfort. So basically, we are pioneers in offering an 8-day luxury sea expeditions aboard on a private yacht for 18 people that will take you to, you know, to remote locations and unique scenery, giving up a chance to interact with new surroundings along the American coast. Okay, basically how the idea came about, and how we just, as an entrepreneur, how we put this thing, and basically, what is Kontiki? Kontiki is the god of creations for the Incas, and why I got the idea of is because Thor Heyerdahl, I don't know if you guys have listened and have read the book about it. He made this beautiful trip back in the 1948, last century. He made this trip from Peru to the French Polynesia. So I have like the same dream, but in a luxury way, in a catamaran. I want to emulate that legendary story expedition through Manta, which is the base point of our expeditions in Manta, in Ecuador, sorry, to the French Polynesian. So back in 2-3 years ago, I have this kind of dream, but later on I went to a shipyard and I spotted these two beautiful yachts, 28 feet each yacht. So basically, I pop up a question, I pop an idea of why to take these yachts and put it and basically, create this kind of expedition in the coast of Ecuador. So we are pioneering that. Nobody was, taking a chance to do it. And we are among the first ones and pioneering on this. Right? So we have 3 pillars on this. Also to mention that I went to Madrid to do a master over there, and I developed all the idea and all the all the concept around the Kontiki and around the Pacific coast. Okay, so we have 3 main cornerstones about this, which is first one is neo-luxury. So basically, the neo-luxury is all about is a trend. It's a new trend. It's all about experiences linked to the concept of conscious travel and slow traveling. So Kontiki is for those who seek luxury and an environmental and personal well-being. Our travelers like to explore locations from within, get to know the local traditions and gastronomy by visiting communities and interact with people who are the soul of any destinations, okay? Then we have our second cornerstone, or pillar, is sustainability. So why sustainability? Because we collaborate with local communities, respecting and supporting their activities and traditions, promoting their economic development and participating in social projects aimed to improve their quality of life, right? So we have a lot of commitments in the coming years. So by 2022, we want to reduce and measure the CO2 footprint by offsetting these emissions to the environment, by eliminating, all single plastic use, and being also pretty active with NGOs taking care of oceans, beaches, and all of surroundings of Kontikis. Our third cornerstone is expeditions. So I was telling you, Kontiki in an 8-day expedition will take you to remote locations. Many of those locations are pretty inaccessible for larger vessels. So since we are on a 120 feet yacht, so we can assure that we can go pretty close to the shore, and see many unforgettable things, So before going to describe a little bit about the route and everything, I have prepared a video so you have a perfect scenario of what we're describing, so you can have a better look of what is Kontiki, right? Okay. All right. So basically, as you guys seen, that was like a small glimpse about what the Toquilla expedition route is about. The name Toquilla expedition came from the well-known Toquilla straw hat, which is bad named Panama hat. So as Kontiki, we believe that we can, rescue that heritage given us actually from the UNESCO, the immaterial rights to use it, the name as Ecuadorians for the Toquilla, So basically, here's the coast of Ecuador, as you guys can see. Many of the places are really well known, such as the Romanta, which we have a lot of big cruises coming in, even Guayaquil, which is the biggest and second most important port, and the main port of Ecuador. But there are also many free places that are actually undiscovered. Okay, So basically the route started in Manta. So then we will go to Bahía de Caracas. In this Bahía de Caracas, we will have a land expedition that will take us to the La Ruta del Cacao, the cacao route. So we will visit cacao plantations. So our travelers will be one of the few people to ever see the oldest cocoa trees in the world, you know, the heritage trees with over 200 years of age. And in these plantations, they yield the raiders cocoa beans that are harvested and processed like wine. You know, this is quite unique. And the Arriba Nacional Heritage Beans is the name of it, of these let's say of this cocoa species. And you will be immersed in indulgent gastronomy experience that includes the states of the cacao launch, let's say to a tree to a bar, a tree to your table. So you have this kind of spectacular culinary cuisine experience. Okay. Then later on we will go to the La Segua, which is wetlands. So we will see a lot of birds and all that. Okay. So later on we will sail again up to the north, as Jassy mentioned, on the Mompichi side, which is the Esmeraldas province, which is particular because we have in that province lives a lot of Afro-Ecuadorians, and the population over there had a lot of traditions that they came and they get it from their past ancestors. So we'll land on Pampiche. So we have this welcoming from the Afro-Ecuadorian community, and we'll discover the beach of Portete and walk through the mangrove or the concheo. The concheo is a local activity of collecting the shellfish, which will later on we will cook it in the boat from our chef, and of course we have this beautiful and this kind of risotto of concha negra, of concha prieta, you know? So you can have a taste on that. Okay. Then later on we will come back and do the Manta visit and surroundings. So we will go to the Pacoche Marine Wildlife Refuge, and in this park we will see holding monkeys, and they are the most distinctive of the 41 species of the mammals inhabiting the wildlife refuge of Pacoche. And also we will see one of the species, one of the small frogs in the world, who they live there, and they are quite amazing to see them because they are just, you know, the size of these frogs are less than the pulgar, the thumb of your hand, which is amazing. Okay. Then we of course will visit and the Pile community, which is very popular because of this. The toquilla hats, the straw hat is made, and we will have again another culinary experience prepared by our main chef. Okay, right there at the community. Then we will go later on to Isla de la Plata, which is pretty particular. If you guys haven't heard about it, basically in Ecuador we call it Isla de la Plata, the small Galapagos, because we have, believe it or not, we have blue-footed boobies, we have Nazca boobies as well, we have the frigates, the sea turtles, and many singular species that also the Galapagos have, you know, which is quite amazing. So we can have in our trip as well this, let's say, the small, tiny little Galapagos ambience in our experience. Okay, We will do a lot of sea water sports as well, if you want to snorkel or if you want to do some kayaking, you know, so you can go and see. And from June through October, we will watch how a large group of humpback whales from the Antarctic Ocean arrive to our coast to mate and reproduce in one well. Okay? On day 6, we will visit Los Frailes, which is in Machalilla, which is one of the most beautiful beaches in the coast of Ecuador. And it's a white sand lap beach, and there's a lot of shallow waters as well. So that invites the visitor to, have quite some hours of relaxation and to do also some water sports such as snorkeling and so on. Okay, so also in Machalilla National Park, we will have this. We will visit the Agua Blanca community, which is a small settlement that holds the remains of one of the most ancient civilizations in South America, the Manteño culture in the pre-Columbian period. Okay, then we will go to Santa Clara, which is also one of the islets, the islands, small islands in front of Provincia del Oro. So there's that particular island is also pretty undiscovered, pretty not well known. It got it's a natural refuge for more than 23,000 birds, So, and there's also a large colony of sea lions as well. And then we will visit Machala, which is the third main port of Ecuador. And we will go directly to Zaruma, which is a magical town now in Ecuador. And we will visit, believe it or not, we'll visit El Sexmo, which is the oldest mine in the region, gold mine. So you have, a unique attraction because imagine yourself at 6 a.m. in the morning, you wake up, you will be in the boat having your breakfast, and then at 11 o'clock or so, you will be entering in this gold mine, as you saw on the video. Okay, and then at the end we will go back and go and visit Guayaquil as well. Okay, and have a sense of what is the second biggest city in Ecuador, the biggest port in Ecuador, industrial port. So you will visit many places around it. Okay, so basically this is the Kontiki route, the Toquilla expedition. As you may see, there are a lot of places undiscovered, and of course we are amazed and very glad that you guys, come and visit us. We were planning with Jassy and Tropic to do some fun trips. Well, and of course, Jassy will let us know the exact dates to visit us and to try it on firsthand the product and in live and live the experience as you will see it.
Yeah, Carlos, there's nothing like experiencing it to be able to sell it, right? I think that's amazing. Thank you so much. I have a few questions for you. I hope you don't mind me asking. But as a summary, I think it's really important for everybody that is listening to gather with a map is really hard. But I think the journey, Carlos took us through a cultural journey, right? With Afro-Ecuadorians up in the north of the coast down to even Guayaquil, which is a busy city and probably the biggest city in Ecuador, and indigenous communities along the way of different types, different backgrounds. The gastronomy of each region of the coast is very different, from the from the Afro influence of the gastronomy in the north to the central of the coast in Manabí, which is very different from the south. So I think you have a chance to try different types of ceviches, right? Well, the wildlife Carlos mentioned, you know, from whale watching all the way down to bird watching. And I think the most important element, Carlos, are the ecosystems. When I was looking at your video, man, it was amazing because you took me to rainforests, cloud forests, dry forests, you have mangrove forests, you have islands, of course, you have the underwater world of the Isla de la Plata that you mentioned, and obviously the cities, right? Right now, I think we're a bit uncomfortable about listening to cities, but I mean, Manta and Guayaquil are beautiful cities. And I think these are definitely interesting and less known from the majority of people when we're talking about Ecuador. So I think that's the key element of what the Carlos presentation is the variety of experiences you can bring to this journey, right? Carlos, I have one question for you. I have actually three more punctual questions, but one of it is about the boats. These guys participating here are all cruise experts. They sell cruises all over the world, and definitely the Galapagos is a very popular destination to travel cruising. And I imagine that you are gonna bring some boats with the features of the Galapagos Expeditions ones. So tell us a little bit about the development of these, one boat or many boats. What are the plans on that front?
Sure, actually, let me share as well by the way, guys, this is the brochure that's already on our website, so you will have it as well. And so that will be not a problem. And basically,
I also saw a couple of questions about the boats.
Yeah, basically the yachts are now, they're in the shipyard. They're under, we're doing a remodelation, and there are some renders already. But basically there's a 128 feet yacht, and it has 9 rooms. We have 5, let's say, executive staterooms, 4 interior rooms, and you will have also a gym and spa. You have the solarium, as you see in the brochure. So basically, yeah, I mean, it's a small yacht in comparison with the big industry. That's why we call it, this is a disruption, because since all the big guys are going by sea 30, 40 hours to one point to another, and once you get it off the boat, you will be 4, 5, 6 hours. Our model goes really against that. As I always said, you always go and stretch your legs every single day. So you will have 10, 12 hours a day. You will be out of the boat. You know, you will be doing a lot of things out of the boat with guided excursions, and a lot of, you know, as you just mentioned, you know, I mean, we try to put this concept, try to, you know, get all things together, not only beaches, not only wild nature, but also, you know, a sense of these local communities and how they, you know, with so little are so happy, you know, and try to, you know, have this kind of reflection of the people that are coming to see this, you know, because people, you know, with all in cities such as, you know, New York or Paris, London, New York, Chicago, whatever, you know, they have almost everything, you know. They have a lot of traffic. They have they're complaining about everything as a first world, you know. So basically, our proposal is that once you come here, and you see all these local communities, and you see how these people, you know, live, and they are really happy, and they are really amazed that people can, you know, come to Ecuador and visit the coast, you know. So these kind of reflections that we also want to do it, and of course, I mean, the coast of Ecuador has a lot of it, as like I said. Even, you know, the small Isla de la Plata, the small Galapagos, you know, which is amazing. I mean, I'm sure, Jassy, you've been there and you know it a little bit.
Well, the most amazing experience I had in the Isla de la Plata that I haven't got in the Galapagos is snorkeling and listening to whales singing. That was, mind-blowing experience for me. So going back to, well, I agree that getting out of the city is something that our clients love to. I think that at this stage, what our clients would love to, including myself, is to get out of my house. And even within the current situation, we have a question, I don't know who's thinking about traveling with their own kids. I want to get out of my kids as well. Just kidding. But I would love to bring my kids on this expedition, Carlos. Do you think it's suitable for little children to go as well?
Yes, of course. I mean, we have some rooms adapted and connected from room to room. So you can, mom and dad would be in one room, and you can open up a door, and then the other room would be the couple of child. So yeah, I mean, there's and also we will recommend some weeks to go and visit, such as the whole family together. So basically, from 6 years old and over, I believe that it's okay
cool.
to come visit us. Yeah.
Right. We can make it then. Tiago is 7 now. So Carlos, going to a more kind of negative kind of question. We all talk about COVID-19 a lot, and we're thinking about our operations now and the health and safety of our crew and our staff, our offices included, right? As well as, of course, and most importantly, our clients. What are you guys thinking about that? What is your approach to this new way of travel? Are you guys taking these new elements that our partners will be asking for more information?
Sure. I mean, we already work, and we already have a health policy, which is five key elements in a protocol, in terms of sanitization of the boat, all the hygiene that we'll take in terms of cooking the meals in our boat, how we get all the food and everything, how you take all the exact measures to minimize and to avoid all this thing that happened to worldwide right now, and the most important thing is that our air conditioning system is unique for each room. It's not a central, so that's also that once we contract this in a contractor from Fort Lauderdale, we have no idea that will happen, and I mean, the air conditioning system is not centralized; it's completely separate from room to room, so that's a good thing. And of course, our policy will be also in our website real soon. So I believe in 1 week or so, we will have it. Okay, and of course, I mean, since we are only 18 people, 18 guests, and 12 tripulants, so we have better. We're in a better shape, let's say, to control and to measure and to get all the proper things to do this work.
Awesome, great. So yeah, I think that was going to be one of the questions that a lot of people was going to ask. 18 people is going to be the number, right? And I imagine that charters will be available for families who want the whole boat for themselves, or are you planning to just charter the boat? I think that's going to be very popular, along with our villa program in the Galapagos. I think that it's going to be a lot of interest to doing private trips. So this could be a very interesting opportunity for people to charter, right? And explore the Pacific coast with a small party of more known people. Actually, Manta, and just to complete my idea, Manta is also an airport where you could fly with your private jet, I presume, right?
Actually, yeah, the Manta Airport and the it's the pista. I don't know. I forgot the name.
Landing strip.
Yeah, the landing strip is one of the biggest and the largest one in South America. It's almost 4.2 or something like that. Remember that the Americans used to operate here. The forward operation location is a fall, and they leave us this beautiful airport and facilities. Okay, so yeah, I mean you can just land in Manta with no problem, and also we will start our expeditions. If you don't have a jet, a private jet, you will go to Quito, then fly to Manta on Sunday. Okay.
Sure. Yeah, that's great. What about diving, Carlos? Are you going to have some diving equipment aboard?
Yes, I mean, since Puerto Lopez is pretty close by to also Isla de la Plata and in Machalilla, so we will already have an agreement with them, so we can have some equipments, and because this is gonna be like as you may know a little bit about the coast of Ecuador, there are some days that are really good days. Let's say we have 2 or 3 days with clean water and amazing shallow waters and all that, and then probably you go 1 or 2 days and you can see not so much. Okay, but basically from June to September there's a good time to go and have a dive, and of course we can offer that as well, and snorkeling that will be a part of it, but of course we have to know it with prior time to prepare, all the things.
Sure, Carlos. Well, that's great, man. Thank you so much. I have a little remark to make because a lot of people might be wondering about who is this guy, right? What does he know about ships and boats, right? And I am one of the things that I'm most excited about it is the knowledge that you and your family have about our Pacific coast. You've been in business for many years on the tuna business, so you really know our Pacific coast very well. And I feel like, and this is a general comment, that having the support of your other operation in terms of the safety of our clients, the support that your tourism vessels will have from your other operations, I think that's add a lot of value to the safety that we nowadays are so concerned about, right? So I feel like that's an element that people should know. If you want to add something, of course, there is nothing to do with this business, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but I think it's important for people to understand that this is a much larger thing and not some crazy guy who decided to buy a boat and refurbish it and go sailing on the coast, right? I think that there is a larger infrastructure supporting your operation, and that I think has a tremendous value.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I run the marine part of the family business, which is a tuna factory and dedicated to the tuna business for 25 years ago. So basically, I ran the marine part, and of course, we are pretty familiar with all the engines and all the technical aspects about sailing and all the secure elements that you have to go and put once you are either sailing or either at the harbor or near the shore. So yeah, I mean, we have quite a lot of expertise on that matter. And as soon as, talked a little bit about this to many other, potential users and agencies, operators, they like that because they feel, as you mentioned, I mean, they are kind of confident that we are taking these things pretty seriously, It's not just, as you mentioned, this is kind of an entrepreneur with this startup idea and all that. No, I mean, you have to know all the coast and basically your waters, I mean, as you can say.
Yeah, enough with one crazy guy, right? So Carlos, one last question, man, and I think the most important one, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of these guys here are already looking forward to start booking. So when tell us some dates. You know, when are the first trial cruises going to be? When can we start planning for our fam trips? And when are you actually open to get some bookings from us?
Sure. I mean, actually, tomorrow morning we have like with all the staff, we have a meeting in order to go and put the exact date to start. But
Okay.
basically, that will be the end of November,
Okay.
and on the week of Thanksgiving, and and we will start on Sunday. I remember it was gonna be like 23 or 24th. I don't know. And from that on, of course, you guys, Tropic and many others, would be pre-invited to come us and to see in these farm trips and to take a little bit of what Kontiki is going to offer.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna be in the first one. You
Sure.
can bet on that. All right.
Sure.
Well, guys, Carlos, thank you so much for your time, man. I don't want to take the entire morning from you and everybody else. Everybody's busy with cleaning the house and cooking and working and doing everything that we have to do now with this new lifestyle that we are embracing in the most positive way. But I think this is a fantastic way to kick off our Monday and the week and the last week of April. And man, congratulations. I'm very excited about this venture, and we'll be there to support you.